Hi, and welcome back to another episode of The Breakdown with Bethany. I'm Bethany Brown Silva, and today my guests are Cara, Kamenev, and Rosario Dawson. And we're going to be talking all about spirits, not just the holiday spirit, but ready to drink spirits. Cara is the CEO of Thomas Ashbourne, and Rosario is one of the co-founders, one of the many celebrity co-founders who have helped to develop a special drink. She developed the margarita, and we're going to be talking about women in business, leading from the top, what we want to see out there in corporate America, and so much more. So definitely stay tuned. This one is not to be missed. Cara, first I wanted to talk to you. I mean, the idea of this spirits brand that, you sort of head up is so interesting to me because obviously I'm sure, the market is a bit saturated, but the way that you've done it with these sort of celebrity partners and co-founders is just really fascinating. And I would love to just hear from your point of view, like how that came to be, like the inspiration behind that.
Sure. I'm so jealous of Rosario's pizza. Don't tempt a pregnant woman. So a bit about the brand. I think what's saturated in the alc bev industry is a little bit more on the seltzer side. Where we saw a real gap is on ready to drink, but in particular, ready to drink, which the entire sector of ready to drink is booming. But spirits-based high proof RTDs are what's growing the fastest. So that's where you see like the astronomical double-digit growth. And that's where we saw the most white space. I think, from my perspective, I'm newer to the alc bev industry. So I come from beauty where, in the beauty industry and other parts of CPG and fashion where I've worked as well, there's a much closer consumer connection. And I think some of those industries really cracked advocacy really early, just because the nature of them being so personal. And I saw that in spirits, we hadn't really done that right. And I think that that's what Thomas Ashbourne really does. We brought a group of partners together who are genuinely passionate, who are genuine and authentic about what they like to do, like to drink, hands-on about what they want to build. And we're bringing like taste and quality. So we're not just building a celebrity brand. We're building a real brand that stands for taste, quality, and bar-made cocktails. We're building it with celebrity partners. So I think that's the difference, is that we're all invested in brand building. And it's not just another celebrity brand. And then I think we've honed in on the right part of the market at the right time in the right place. And we're really, hopefully tapping into the growth here.
Yeah. And I've seen, the list of partners is really, really impressive with, Rosario included. And it's easy from my point of view as a fan for many years to see why she would be a good fit. But I'm curious from your standpoint, what was it about this specific partnership that was, exciting for you?
I think it was on so many different levels. It's the people that are a part of it, because there's not just celebrities and people there are in the industry, just trying to leverage their names. These are people who are really business minded, who are really loving and fun and sweet and, really conscious and intentional. I think that you're inviting yourself with the brand like this to be in people's funnest, most important memories and celebrations. I love bringing a bottle of our margarita to parties and bridal showers and weddings and just different events. People bring bottles of wine. I bring bottles of our Margalicious margarita, and it's always a thing that like immediately goes off. It's really quality. It's consistent. And as a mom, it's great to be able to have a go-to that makes an exceptional experience without having to put in an over, indulgence of effort or money. And the research has been done there because every single one of these brand partners are people who are just really, authentic, and they want to make sure they're not, this is not a snake oil situation. Like, we really took a lot of time taste testing. We're developing drinks and having, meetings and hanging out with each other and having food and catching up and spending time and checking in with each other and being really thoughtful about, what that means for someone else who's going to be sharing this experience that we're sharing with each other right now, and I love how sociable it is. So I think that's what just got me really excited. I got right back into margaritas during the pandemic. it was like like I was doing a whole sober year, and then it was 2020, and I was like, well, to hell with that.
I actually wanted to ask you about your choice of a margarita, because it is, I mean, it's such a fun drink, right? And I think our drink of choice does say a lot about us. Moms sort of like have the thing with wine, which I'm really not into. I mean, wine's awesome, but like a margarita, that's so cool. So tell us.
Yeah. And it's fun, and it's like something you can have in many different ways. And I think, it feels like a very sociable drink, though I'm totally happy to have one just by myself, my little cocktail. I think, when you're thinking about like the old fashioned is really good. The fact that Sarah Jessica Parker never did a Cosmo before is just insane to me, and to have her backing behind, her drink is just, it just is fun and it's cool. I love that it's not just about promoting our own individual drinks, but also sort of promoting each other and the different, the different ways that we can all come to the table. We want to share that experience together, but maybe we want it slightly different. And so it's just to know that all of these different drinks are just so great, and every single time. And like it can kind of get like the perfect table together, because I know some of my folks are like their old fashions, and the hard Scotto is really good. I don't know. I really have been like loving how much more people are leaning into experiences, leaning into being more sociable, having that opportunity to do that, while also being conscious of the fact that maybe you don't want to be squeezing a bunch of like limes and lemons and mixing people's drinks, because people have also gotten a lot more conscious about, I think, germs and touching and sharing things. So it felt like the perfect time. I literally rediscovered margaritas during the pandemic, and then we started talking about putting out this drink, and it just felt like kissing.
Yeah. And so as sort of entrepreneurs and women, what advice would you share for other entrepreneur women, or maybe who are like really seeing you as aspirational in this regard? I think, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but this is sort of a new business venture for you. I mean, we know that you do a lot, philanthropically and stuff like that. And Cara, you're coming from beauty. So, I mean, what is this like? And also what has been the most challenging part so far?
I mean, you saw me eating pizza earlier, right? So it's like, I think that we're always kind of overbooking ourselves a little bit and overcommitting and trying to do all the things. We've got the holidays coming up, and it's about to just be teenage land. I've got my daughter and all the kids coming. And so like, I just got to, be on top of it up into that moment when they're just kids descending on you, who you want to get off of their electronics and actually spend time with you. So I'm trying to make sure I'm going to be available and not be stuck on my electronics as well, but it's a balance, and I think, we put too much pressure on ourselves to think that we're supposed to do it on our own. And it really does take a village. And, I feel like I'm so grateful for the community that I've been able to have around my daughter all of these years, and, looking forward to the events and stuff that we're doing, but also like figuring out that balance of modeling to her what that is to put in that effort and to be passionate about what you work on, and to be committed and disciplined and focused and all of those, and strategic and all of those things. As she's starting to figure out what she wants to be doing with herself, and so it's important for me, like not only for myself to be doing my check-ins and keeping that balance and making sure I'm not overwhelmed and overworked, but also modeling that for her, because I don't want her to do that. I feel like we've done that for generations, and that was what was like champions. Like if you weren't like barely pulling yourself over your threshold every night, like you weren't putting in enough effort. And it's like, I really love that that's a conversation that's being really clear that it's not worth it. If you can't like have a nice meal with your family afterwards, then like, what are you doing it for? You know what I mean? Like we can't compromise our that time with our family now and talk about in the future is going to be something, because that future is going to be really different, because these kids change on you. They change on you. The audacity. I know. It's trying to figure that out, and working with people who are also moms, and working with people who are conscious and intentional about that. Like we've really said, this is a mostly women-owned business. and so it's like we make sure that that's a part of the ethos of this entire company, is that we recognize that we're very family forward. Every time we've done a tasting or kind of get together in Miami to kind of like come together as a family, we're doing it with kids involved, and it's an intergenerational kind of conversation about what we're trying to build here.
Yeah.
And so I think that's important.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because we are really sort of in the kind of climate or the time where we are kind of looking to these CEOs, these heads of business and corporations to kind of like, set the tone, or like for us as working mothers. And Cara, I'm sort of, you're due with your second any day now, and you're sort of at the helm of this amazing company. And, Rosario did mention, like, working with other mothers, sort of like setting that precedent. So how are you thinking about that as a working mom yourself, as a CEO and all of that? And what are you kind of like doing internally, but also what are you hoping to kind of like, are you hoping to sort of make any or see any shifts out there in this kind of corporate world?
Yeah, it's so crazy. So I've spent most of my career in like true corporate America, like getting up at like 7 a.m., hustling into the city, back home. It's very hard. Entrepreneurship is hard too. Very hard, very scary, big jump. You have to have a lot of faith in yourself, and it's terrifying most of the time. So the trade-offs are different. But I do find, to Rosario's point, you carve the time that you have to carve, and you do what you need to do. And as women, oh my God, the amount we can get done, it really is wild. Like I'm so freaking proud of myself, and like, that's okay. But, in terms of modeling, I have had amazing, in corporate America, there are amazing women and corporate mentors and women who have paved way, but they've done it, I think, at a different time. COVID changed so much, the world changed so much. And I think, I'm very dedicated to like modeling what I want to see in the world. When I, decided to have another baby, and I said, okay, I'm the pretty new pregnant CEO of an alcohol company. And I just kind of like put on my big girl pants and like owned it, and like brought my belly to tastings and said, like, I'm not going to toast you, but like I can still run this company.
Yeah.
And that's, and then like Rosario, Vanessa, Ashley, Sarah, Jessica, like they're all right behind me being like, yes, you can. So when you surround yourself with that kind of vibe and those kind of women, you model it for your teams, you put it out there into the world. I mean, I put a picture of myself on LinkedIn, which I never do. I'm not a huge like sharer. Everyone, like, it was the most traction I ever got. It was, like my belly and whatever. And when I first, I have some mentors and, people in my circle who, before I kind of told the company and told some of my colleagues that I was pregnant, they were like, oh, how are you going to do this? That was the reaction from all the men. And I was like, I'm going to do it the same way I would do it before. And that's what we're all doing. So, I'm not the first woman to have a baby, and I don't want to be the last one. And I've been every kind of mom that you could be. A working mom. I've been a married working mom. I've been a single working mom. I've been a divorced working mom. And now I'm a blended family working mom, juggling like, several households and kids. And like I said, we really can do it all, but we have to have people to look at.
Absolutely. I was very moved by you saying that you're so proud of yourself, because really we do it all. We do it all. It's great. And I'm really inspired by this too, because, I've sort of been in this editorial media world, but I am looking to a lot of these sort of like heads of businesses now. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Rajma Sojani and talking about like this, this Marshall Plan for motherhood. I mean, we're sort of getting a little off topic, but not really, because you guys, you launched this amazing business with mothers at the helm, and I think it's very, very inspiring. And the pandemic was unkind to us, really, it was, so and if you don't mind,
us.
And so now we're kind of coming out, right? There's like a reemergence. And can we talk a little bit about that too? And like, from you guys are like in it, with this business, and it's successful and it's so beautiful. And people might just look at it as like as a spirits or ready to drink spirits company, but now hearing this story, maybe they'll have a different idea about it. So I would love to just hear about, like plans for this kind of like reemergence that we're ever having as mothers in the workforce.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Ra.
No, go for it. It's a lot. We're there. There's that push to like get back to normal, and a lot of what was normalized wasn't. So I think one of the things I became really grateful for during this pandemic was taking stock of my life and the organizations and the companies and the people that I collaborate with and work with, and and feeling like, is that fortifying me? Is that in alignment with my morals and my values and what I want to be seeing and creating in the world? Because no matter what it is, it's work, but is it work that I feel proud of and feel really behind? And so that's what's been such a powerful thing with this company, and knowing that we're modeling that for other people, which I think is because the standards need to shift, the bar needs to shift, the Overton window needs to shift. And I think there's a consciousness, there's an appetite. We saw that with consumers, especially wanting to better vote with their dollar, and support companies that are more in alignment with them. And so, I think we're able to meet that moment in a really special way. But I want to just, again, Cara, I love what you said about, being a working mom in so many different ways. Because I think we talk about that oftentimes with like maybe just the pregnancy or the initial stages of having a newborn. But like when they're going through their teenage years and they disappear on you for a while, it's hard. They come back around. I'll let all the parents out there who are maybe struggling
I have
with a teen or two. They do come back around, but it's like it's the struggle is real.
We have 4 girls collectively. I'm shaking in my boots. Yeah, terrified.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
This is why I launched an alcohol company.
You're really
and the amount of moms out there who are like, thank God for that cocktail.
Oh my gosh. This has been such I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to have this really amazing, such an amazing conversation about women in the workforce, but I'm also not surprised because your guys' resumes collectively together reads it's such an amazing, I don't even know what to call it, but it's so amazing between the L'Oreal and all the philanthropic stuff that you do, Rosario. It's really, really impressive. Really quick before we wrap up, tell us, I want to hear all the different spirits in the brand and who sort of collaborated on each of them. We know Rosario did the margarita, but what are the other ones?
Yeah, so we have an old fashioned presented by Thomas Ashbourne himself, who's a bit of a man of mystery. We have the margarita, which is the collaboration of 3 kind of like powerhouse, amazing women who I've had the honor to start to get to know. Rosario, obviously, Vanessa Hudgens and Ashley Benson. And sneak peek, they have some more things up their sleeve. We can't tell you what yet, but it's coming. We have, of course, the Perfect Cosmo by SJP. So Sarah Jessica launching the Cosmo, which I think is perhaps the most iconic pairing that like never happened. And then when you have it in your hand, you're like, why didn't this exist? And then we have the Hard Scotto by Playboy Cardi. So the Hard Scotto is a bit of an innovation in the cocktail. It's something we invented. It's reminiscent of a wine. If you're a wine drinker, you might like it. It's light, bubbly. It's really, really, it's great. And he's awesome. And then we have some new talent launching this year with a new cocktail that is like, I want to give a really good hint, but I don't have one. Let's just say it's the hottest cocktail.
I'm terrible at this. I'm either spilling the beans or too cryptic.
Yes. That we're not going to spill the beans. And then, what Rosario is working on. So look, the brand Thomas Ashbourne, you're going to remember the name because you're like, who is he? But then what you remember is that everything you taste tastes good. And that's what we want you to come away with, that you're going to get taste quality in a bar quality cocktail. And our innovation is just kicking off. And we have a lot more to come and a lot more taste and premium flavors. And we're just really proud of what we're building. We're doing it together.
That's great.
And like moms, the drinks are strong.
Yes.
We love that. Where can we get them? Where tell all of our listeners where they could get some of these delicious drinks. We're heading into the holidays, so.
Yes, we're heading into they're actually great to have on it. Just like have them in the house when family comes over, open them immediately. It will help immediately keep them cold. But they're available nationwide. We're in all the top 15 markets. And if you don't see us in your state yet, you can probably order online. But on the West Coast, Albertsons, Vons, Pavilions, we're in all Total Wine, Bevmo, and the New York area, Fresh Direct, as well as a number of independent stores. And then we're also going to be launching nationally at Kroger next year. So very, very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also visit thomasashbourne.com, learn more about the brand. You can place an order online, give it a little taste, let us know what you think, support women. We're proud to be building a brand that's a bit different in an industry that I think was ready for some some female leadership, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was going to say, I mean, it seems like you guys are kind of like breaking the mold here, which I'm really excited about. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't tried them yet, but I'm going to now. And
I will send you some. I'm sorry.
I have to know the story first, but I also, and this is kind of like, I might not include this in the podcast or not, but I always am highlighting women-owned businesses. I just was on NBC Boston yesterday talking about what women-owned businesses, what to do, where to go. So let's please stay in touch, because this is also something that I'm very passionate about. And you've got me so hooked now, just talking to you guys.
Yes.
It's like so fun and exciting. Rosario, I can see you were so excited about this, like this venture. It shows. So congratulations. I can't wait to try and follow along and all the new things that are coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
You're gonna
for
have to
having
tell
our
us what
back.
you
We're
think.
excited.
I can't wait. Thank you both. And Cara, here's to a very easy, not, I always say like pregnant, like, like nothing, like we want an uneventful pregnant, like delivery, right? So
5 more days. I got this.
you got it. All right. Well, thank you both so much for the time. I'm so appreciative.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Thanks for having
you.
us.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.